Lagos, Victoria Island. 6 a.m. James walked to his black Mercedes like he did every morning. His new driver was already there, waiting. The man called Michael had been working for him for 6 months now. Best driver he ever had. Always early. Never late. Never asked for extra money. Never complained. But this morning something was different. James noticed Michael's shirt was torn at the shoulder. And through that tear, he saw something that made his blood run cold. Not the shoulder of a man. The shoulder of a woman. Michael? James said slowly. We need to talk. Now. And in that moment, a secret that had been hidden for 6 months was about to explode. Because Michael was not Michael at all. Michael was Ada. And the truth of why she had been pretending to be a man for half a year would shock everyone. But before I tell you this shocking story, do me one favor. If you enjoy powerful African moral stories like this, stories about courage, survival, and love, please subscribe to my channel right now. I create these inspiring stories every week, and you don't want to miss what happens next. Hit that subscribe button. Alright, let's go back to where this incredible journey began. 6 months earlier, Mrs. Beatrice Okoye sat in her living room interviewing drivers. She was 65 years old, a rich widow, and she needed a driver for her son James. James was 38 years old. He owned 3 companies. He was rich, single, and too busy to drive himself. 8 drivers had come for the interview. All men. Mrs. Beatrice had rejected them all. Too lazy. Too proud. Too greedy. Too rough with the car. Then Michael walked in. Good morning, Ma, the young man said. He was short, maybe 5 feet 6 inches. Slim. Neat. Wearing a clean white shirt and black pants. A black cap covered most of the face. Your name? Mrs. Beatrice asked. Michael, Ma. Michael Obi. Age? 25, Ma. Experience? 3 years driving for a family in Surulere, Ma. They moved to Canada. That is why I need new work. Mrs. Beatrice looked at this small young man. Something felt different about him. The voice was soft. The hands were small. The movements were gentle. Can you drive well? Yes, Ma. Very well. Can you fix small car problems? Yes, Ma. I learned from my father. He was a mechanic. Can you work long hours without complaining? Yes, Ma. I just need the job. I will work hard. Mrs. Beatrice studied him. There was something unusual about this Michael, but she could not say what it was. The salary is 80,000 Nigerian nairas per month, she said. You will drive my son James everywhere. Sometimes early morning. Sometimes late night. Sometimes weekends. Can you do this? Yes, Ma. Thank you, Ma. You start tomorrow. 6 a.m. Do not be late. I will be early, Ma. And Michael was telling the truth. The next morning, Michael arrived at 5:30 a.m. The black Mercedes was already washed and shining. When James came out at 6 a.m., the car was perfect. The engine was running. The AC was on. Everything was ready. You are the new driver? James asked. Yes, sir. My name is Michael. James looked at the small young man. You look very young. I am 25, sir. But I drive very well. You will see. James got into the back seat. Let me see then. Take me to my office in Ikoyi. What happened next surprised James. Michael drove like a professional. Smooth. Careful. Fast when the road was clear. Slow when there was danger. No rough braking. No sharp turning. Perfect. When they arrived at the office, James said, You drive very well. Thank you, sir. Do you have a place to stay? Michael hesitated. Yes, sir. Where? I stay with a friend in Mushin, sir. That is very far. What time do you wake up to reach here by 5:30? I wake at 3 a.m., sir. I take bus. Then I walk. It is not a problem. James looked at this young driver. waking at 3 a.m. every day, walking in the dark, just to arrive early? The boys' quarters behind the house is empty, James said. You can stay there.
Free.
It will make your work easier. Michael's eyes went wide. Sir, the small room behind the kitchen. It has a bed and bathroom. You can live there. It is part of your job. Michael looked down. Sir, that is very kind. But I do not want to be a problem. It is not a problem. It is business. If you live here, you can start work earlier. And you will not be tired from traveling. Move in this weekend.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. James did not know it, but he had just given Ada the one thing she needed most. A safe place to hide. Michael moved into the boys' quarters that Saturday. The room was small but clean. Single bed, small bathroom, one window, one door with a lock.
Perfect.
Because Michael had a secret to protect. That night, after everyone in the main house was asleep, Michael locked the door,
Took off the cap.
let down the long black hair that had been tied up tight, removed the shirt stuffed with cloth to look bigger, removed the cloth wrapped around the chest to hide breasts. And Michael became Ada again. Ada was 25 years old. She was not short, she was average height for a woman. She was not skinny, she was slim and feminine. Her face was pretty. Her voice was naturally soft. But for 6 months, she had been pretending to be a man.
Why?
Because no one would hire a woman driver. Ada had tried. For 8 months, she had tried. We need a male driver. We do not hire women for driving. Women cannot drive well. Women are not strong enough. Women will cause problems. Every door closed. Every interview ended the same way. Her father had died 2 years ago. Her mother was sick in the village. Her 2 younger sisters needed school fees. Ada needed money.
Desperately.
So she made a decision. If they would not hire Ada the woman, they would hire Michael the man. She cut her hair short. She bought men's clothes. She learned to walk like a man, wider steps, shoulders back. She learned to talk like a man, deeper voice, shorter words. She wrapped her chest flat every morning. She wore a cap to hide her face. And it worked. Mrs. Beatrice hired Michael. And for 6 months, Ada had lived this double life. By day, Michael the driver.
Cap on.
Chest wrapped, voice deep, walking like a man. By night, Ada the woman. In this locked room, hair down, body free, but always hiding. She sent 60,000 Nigerian nairas home every month. Her mother got medicine. Her sisters stayed in school. But the fear never left. What if someone found out? What if they discovered her secret? She would lose everything. 3 months passed. Michael became the best driver James ever had. Always early. Always prepared. The car was always clean. Always on time. Never complained. Never asked for extra money. More than that, Michael was smart. One day, the car had a small engine problem on the road. Michael fixed it in 10 minutes. James was impressed. Another day, James was going to a meeting and forgot his phone at home. Michael reminded him before they drove away. Another time, James was tired and fell asleep in the car. Michael drove so smoothly that James slept all the way home without waking. James's mother, Mrs. Beatrice, was also impressed. This Michael is a good boy, she told James. Not like the other drivers we had. Those ones were always asking for money, always complaining, always causing problems. But Michael just works. Quietly. Well. Yes, James agreed. He is very good. And he is respectful. Every morning he greets me. Every evening he asks if I need anything. He even helped the gateman fix the gate last week. James nodded. Michael was indeed different. But James noticed something else. Michael never ate with the other workers. Never joined them when they sat outside talking and laughing. Never went out with them on Sundays. Always alone. Always in that locked room. One day, James asked, Michael, why do you always stay alone? The gateman and the cleaners say you never talk to them. Michael kept his eyes down. Sir, I just like to be quiet. I am not good with many people. Do you have family? Yes, sir. My mother and 2 sisters. They are in the village. Do you have a girlfriend? Michael's hands tightened on the steering wheel. No, sir. Why not? You are 25. Young men your age have girlfriends. I do not have time for that, sir. I just want to work and help my family. James left it alone. But he wondered. This young man was strange. Good worker, yes. But strange. Living as Michael was getting harder. Every morning, Ada had to wake up at 4 a.m. to prepare. She would wrap her chest tightly with cloth, so tight it hurt. She would put on layers of clothes to hide her shape. She would stuff cloth into her shirt to look bigger. She would speak with a deeper voice all day until her throat was sore. And she could never relax. Never take off the cap in front of anyone. Never let anyone see her room. Never shower with the other workers. Never let her guard down. There were close calls. One day, the cleaner, Annie Rose, saw Michael carrying something into the room. Michael, what is that? She asked. It was a woman's wrapper. Ada needed it for sleeping. But she could not say that. It is for my sister, Ma. I am sending it to the village. Auntie Rose looked suspicious, but said nothing. Another day, James wanted to enter the room to check something. Michael, open your door. I think there is a leak from your bathroom affecting the wall. Ada's heart almost stopped. Inside the room were women's clothes hanging to dry. Female soap. A mirror. Things that would expose her immediately. Sir, please give me 5 minutes. The room is very dirty. Let me clean it first. She rushed inside, hid everything, opened all the windows, threw male clothes everywhere to look messy. When James entered, he looked around. It is fine. I do not see any leak. Maybe it was a different wall. Ada almost collapsed from fear after he left. But the closest call was with Ola. Ola was James's younger sister. She was 32 years old. She was a lawyer.
Smart.
Observant. And she did not like Michael. Brother, I do not trust that driver, she told James one day.
What? Why?
Michael is the best driver I have ever had. Something is not right about him. Like what? I do not know. He is too soft. His voice. His hands. The way he moves. James laughed. Ola, not every man has to be rough and loud. Some men are just gentle. It is not that. I am telling you, something is wrong. Watch him closely. James did not take her seriously. But Ola started watching Michael herself. She noticed things. Michael never used the bathroom when other people were around. Always waited until everyone left. Michael never removed his cap. Even in hot sun. Michael's hands were too smooth, too small. No rough skin like men who work with cars usually have. Michael walked carefully. Too carefully. Like someone afraid of being noticed. One day, Ola decided to test Michael. Michael, she called. Yes, Ma? Michael came quickly. Carry this bag upstairs for me. The bag was heavy. Full of law books. Maybe 20 kilograms. Michael picked it up. Struggled. But carried it. When Michael put it down, Ola saw something. Sweat on Michael's face. And the shirt, wet from sweat, was sticking to the body. And the shape underneath the shirt was wrong. Too curved. Too soft. Ola's eyes went wide. But she said nothing. Not yet. She needed proof. 6 months after Michael started working, James had to travel to Abuja for a business meeting. Michael, pack a bag. We are traveling tomorrow. We will be away for 3 days. Ada's heart sank. Travel? For 3 days? That meant sleeping in hotels. Sharing rooms maybe. Being around James, constantly. How would she hide for 3 days? Sir, can I stay here? Someone else can drive you in Abuja. James looked surprised.
Why?
I need my own driver. You know how I like things done. I have never traveled before, sir. Then this is a good time to start. We leave at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Ada had no choice. That night, she packed carefully. Extra cloth for wrapping her chest. Extra clothes. She would have to shower late at night when James was asleep. She would have to be very careful. The trip to Abuja was fine. The meetings were fine. They stayed in a hotel. James had his room. Michael had a separate smaller room. Everything was going well.
Until the second night.
Ada was in her hotel room. It was 11 p.m. James was asleep in his room down the hall. Finally, she could breathe. She removed her cap, let her long hair down, unwrapped the painful cloth from her chest, put on a simple t-shirt. She went to the bathroom to shower. While she was in the shower, there was a knock on the door. Then the door opened. James had a spare key to both rooms. He thought Michael had already gone out or was asleep. He just wanted to leave Michael's breakfast money on the table. He opened the door with his key. He walked into the room, and he saw them. On the bed, a cap, men's clothes, and strips of cloth, the kind used to wrap the chest flat. On the chair, a small bag, and inside, visible through the open zipper, women's clothes, a woman's wrapper, female underwear. James stood there, frozen. What was he seeing? Then he heard the shower stop. The bathroom door opened, and out walked not Michael. Out walked a woman. Long black hair wet and hanging down her back. Female t-shirt. Feminine face without the cap hiding it. Slim woman's body without the cloth hiding it. Ada saw James. James saw Ada. For 5 seconds, neither of them moved. Then Ada's face went completely white. Sir, please. Her voice was different now. Higher.
Softer.
A woman's voice. James could not speak. His brain could not process what he was seeing. This was Michael, his driver, his male driver. But standing in front of him was clearly a woman. Who are you? James finally said. Ada started crying. Sir, please. Please do not fire me. Please. I can explain. Who are you? James said again louder. My name is Ada, she said, tears running down her face. Not Michael. Ada. James sat down on the chair, his legs weak. You are a woman? Yes, sir. You have been pretending to be a man? For 6 months. Yes, sir. Why? And then, standing there in that hotel room, with her secret finally exposed, Ada told him everything. Ada told James everything. And she did not leave anything out. My father died 2 years ago, she began. He was a mechanic. He taught me everything about cars. How to drive. How to fix engines. How to check oil. Everything. When he died, he left us with nothing. Just debts. My mother got sick. My 2 younger sisters were in secondary school. I had to take care of everyone. She wiped her tears, but they kept coming. I have a diploma in business studies. But no one would hire me for good work. They said I was too young. Not enough experience. I tried to get driving jobs. I am a very good driver. My father trained me well. But every place I went, they said the same thing. We need a male driver. Women cannot drive well. Women will cause problems with the boss or the madam. For 8 months I tried. 8 months, sir. Every day. Every interview. Every door closed in my face. My mother's sickness got worse. She needed medicine. My sisters needed school fees. We had no food in the house. We were about to lose our room because we could not pay rent. I was desperate, sir. Completely desperate. She looked at James, her eyes begging him to understand. So I made a decision. If they would not hire Ada the woman, I would become Michael the man. I cut my hair. I bought men's clothes from the market. I practiced walking like a man, talking like a man. I studied how men move, how they sit, how they speak. And I came to your mother's interview, and she hired me. Ada's voice dropped to a whisper. For 6 months, I have been living like this. Every morning, I wrap my chest so tight I can barely breathe. I wear caps to hide my face. I make my voice deep until my throat hurts. I cannot relax, not even for 1 minute, because if anyone finds out, I lose everything. The 80,000 Nigerian nairas you pay me, Nigerian naira 60,000, goes to my family. My mother gets medicine. My sisters are still in school. We have food. We have a room. They are alive because of this job. But I am tired, sir. So tired. Tired of hiding. Tired of pretending. Tired of living in fear. She knelt down in front of James, crying. Sir, I am begging you.
Please do not fire me. Please.
Not because of me. Because of my mother. Because of my sisters. They will suffer if I lose this work. Please, sir. I will do anything. I will work harder. I will accept less money. Just please let me keep this job. James sat there, looking at this woman kneeling in front of him. His mind was spinning. For 6 months, he thought Michael was a man. A good worker. A loyal employee. But Michael was Ada. A woman. Who had been pretending, suffering, hiding every single day just to feed her family. The wrapping cloth he saw on the bed. She had been wrapping her body in pain every day for 6 months. The locked room. She was hiding, protecting her secret. The never eating with others. She could not risk anyone discovering her truth. The 4 a.m. wake-up time to prepare her disguise before anyone saw her. 6 months of fear. 6 months of pain. 6 months of courage. Just to survive. James finally spoke. Stand up. Sir, please. I said stand up. Ada stood, her whole body shaking. James looked at her. Really looked at her. Not as Michael the driver, but as Ada the woman. She was pretty. Not beautiful like a model, but pretty in a natural way. Simple. Honest face. And her eyes. Her eyes showed everything.
Fear.
Desperation. But also strength. Courage. Determination. Why did you not just tell the truth? James asked. Why did you not explain your situation? Maybe someone would have helped you. Ada laughed sadly. Sir, with respect, you do not understand. When you are poor, nobody wants to hear your problems. They think you are begging. They think you want to use them. If I came to your mother and said, please hire me as a female driver, my family is suffering, what would she say? She would feel sorry for me. Maybe give me 5,000 Nigerian nairas and send me away. But hire me?
No.
Nobody hires poor women out of pity. I did not want pity, sir. I wanted work. Real work. I wanted to earn my money with my hands, not beg for it. James was quiet for a long time. Then he said something Ada did not expect. Go and sleep. We will talk tomorrow. I need to think. Sir, are you going to fire me? I said we will talk tomorrow. Now go to sleep. Ada went back to her room. But she did not sleep. She cried all night. Tomorrow her secret would be exposed. Tomorrow she would lose everything. Tomorrow her family would suffer again. James did not sleep either. He lay in his bed, staring at the ceiling, thinking about everything. 6 months. This woman, Ada, had been driving him every day. And he never knew. She was good. Better than good. She was the best driver he ever had. Always on time. Always prepared. Smart. Hardworking. Honest. And all that time she was carrying this huge secret. This huge burden. This huge risk. What kind of desperation makes a woman pretend to be a man for 6 months? What kind of strength does it take to wake up every day in pain, in fear, and still do excellent work? James thought about his sister Ola. Ola was a lawyer. She was strong. She was educated. She had money. She had freedom. But would Ola have the courage to do what Ada did? Would any of the women James knew have that courage? To cut their hair? Dress as a man? Wrap their bodies in pain? Hide every day? Risk everything? Just to feed their family? James realized something. He was 38 years old. He had been rich his whole life. His father left him money. His mother gave him businesses. He never had to struggle. Never had to beg. Never had to hide who he was just to survive. But Ada had to become someone else just to have a chance. And she did it perfectly. For 6 months, he never suspected anything. That took intelligence, planning,
Discipline.
courage, the same qualities he looked for in business partners, the same qualities he looked for in employees. And she had them all. By morning, James had made his decision. The next morning, James knocked on Ada's door. She opened it. She was dressed as Michael again.
Cap on.
Chest wrapped, eyes red from crying. "Come to my room," James said. "We need to talk." Ada followed him, her heart pounding. In James's room, he closed the door and sat down.
Sit, he said.
Ada sat. James looked at her for a long time. Then he said, "Take off the cap." Ada hesitated. "Take it off. There is no need to pretend anymore. I know the truth." Slowly, Ada removed the cap. Her short hair, still boyish from the cut, fell free. "What is your full name?" "Attica Nena Obi, sir." "How old are you really?" 25, sir." That part was true. "Where do you live?" "Your real home?" "Mushin, sir. I share one room with my mother and 2 sisters." "The friend you said you stayed with?" "That was a lie, sir." "I am sorry." James nodded. "How is your mother's health?" "She has diabetes, sir." "She needs medicine every month. It costs 25,000 Nigerian nairas. Without it, she will die." "Your sisters?" "Blessing is 16. She is in SS2. Grace is 14. She is in JS3. "Their school fees?" 15,000 Nigerian nairas each per term, sir." James did the math in his head. Medicine 25,000 Nigerian nairas per month. School fees 30,000 Nigerian nairas per term for both girls.
Rent. Food.
Transport. On 80,000 Nigerian nairas salary with 60,000 Nigerian nairas going home, Ada was living on 20,000 Nigerian nairas per month. That was 650 Nigerian nairas per day.
For food.
For transport.
For everything.
"What do you eat every day?" James asked. Ada looked down. "In the morning, bread and tea. That is 200 Nigerian nairas. At night, I cook rice or beans in my room. That is 300 Nigerian nairas. Sometimes I do not eat at all." 500 Nigerian nairas per day for food? "Yes, sir. Sometimes less." James felt something in his chest. Shame? Guilt? He spent more on 1 cup of coffee at his office than Ada spent on food per day. "Why did you choose to be a driver?" he asked. "Why not a house help? Or a cleaner? Those jobs accept women." "Sir, house help gets 30,000 Nigerian nairas per month. Cleaner gets 40,000 Nigerian nairas. Driver gets 80,000 Nigerian nairas. I needed the higher pay. It was the only way to help my family and still have something for myself." "And you were willing to pretend to be a man to get it?" "Sir," Ada looked him in the eye, "I was willing to do anything honest to save my family. I did not steal. I did not beg. I did not sell my body. I just changed my appearance. Is that so wrong?" James had no answer. After a long silence, he spoke. "Here is what is going to happen. Today we go back to Lagos. Tomorrow you will continue working, but not as Michael, as Ada." Ada's eyes went wide. "Sir, you will continue as my driver, but as a woman. No more hiding. No more pretending. You will dress like yourself. You will be yourself." "But sir, people will." "Let them talk," James said firmly. I do not care what people think. You have proven you can do the job. That is all that matters. Your mother will not accept. My mother hired you because you were good. You're still good. Man or woman does not change that. Sir, I do not know what to say. Your salary will increase to 120,000 Nigerian nairas per month. Ada's mouth fell open. Sir, you are doing the work of a driver and hiding your identity. That is 2 jobs. You deserve more pay. Tears started falling from Ada's eyes again. But this time, they were not tears of fear. They were tears of relief. Sir, thank you. Thank you so much. Stop thanking me, James said. You earned it. With your work, your dedication, your honesty. You earned every kobo. He stood up. Now go. Remove all those wrapping clothes. Remove that cap. Put on women's clothes if you have them. Tomorrow you report for work as Ada, not as Michael. Yes, sir, Ada said, crying and smiling at the same time. Yes, sir. When James and Ada returned to Lagos, James called a family meeting. His mother, Mrs. Beatrice, was there. His sister Ola was there. Some cousins and uncles were there. I have something to tell you all, James said. Michael is not Michael. Michael is Ada, a woman. She has been pretending to be a man for the past 6 months. The room exploded. What? A woman? You mean we have been living with a woman pretending to be a man? Mrs. Beatrice stood up, her face red with anger. James, you have gone mad. How can you allow this? Mama, let me explain. Explain what? This is a lie, a deception. We trusted this person. We let this person into our home. And all along, it was a woman lying to us. She had a reason. I do not care about reasons. Mrs. Beatrice shouted. This is wrong. Fire her immediately. Ola stood up. I knew it. I told you something was wrong with that driver. I told you. The uncles and cousins were shouting. This is a disgrace. What will people say? Fire her now. James raised his hand for silence. I am not firing her. The room went quiet. What did you say? Mrs. Beatrice said slowly. I said I am not firing her. Ada will continue working for me. As my driver. As a woman. James, have you lost your mind?
No, Mama.
I have found it. He told them everything. Ada's father dying. Her mother's sickness.
Her 2 sisters.
Her 8 months of rejection. Her desperate decision. Her 6 months of pain and fear. She did not do this for fun, James said. She did this to survive.
To feed her family.
And she did the job better than any male driver I have ever had. But she lied. Mrs. Beatrice said. Yes, she lied. Because society left her no choice. Because the same people shouting now would have rejected her immediately if she came as a woman. James looked around the room. Tell me the truth. If Ada had come to that interview 6 months ago as a woman, dressed as a woman, would you have hired her, Mama? Mrs. Beatrice opened her mouth, then closed it, because she knew the answer.
No.
She would not have hired her. That is what I thought, James said. So, do not be angry at her for lying. Be angry at yourselves for creating a world where she had to lie just to work. But James, what will people say? Ola asked. What will our business partners say when they see you have a female driver? I do not care what they say.
She does her job well.
That is all that matters. This is madness, one of the uncles shouted. You are embarrassing this family. No, James said firmly. You are embarrassing yourselves. Ada showed more courage in 6 months than any of you have shown in your entire lives. And I am keeping her. This discussion is over.
He walked out of the room.
Behind him, the family was shocked into silence. The next morning, Ada arrived for work at 5:30 a.m. But she did not come as Michael. She came as herself. She wore a simple blue shirt and black pants. Women's clothes, but professional. Her hair, still short from the cut, was neat. No cap, no wrapping, no disguise. Just Ada. The gateman saw her, and his eyes went wide. Michael? You are a woman? My name is Ada, she said calmly. Good morning. The cleaner, Ani Rose, came out and screamed. Jesus! Michael is a woman. I knew something was strange. Mrs. Beatrice came outside. She looked at Ada for a long time. Then she said, You deceived me. Yes, Ma. I am sorry, Ma. You made me look foolish. That was not my intention, Ma. Mrs. Beatrice wanted to be angry. She wanted to shout. But when she looked at this young woman standing there, shoulders back, head high, not begging, not crying, just standing with dignity, she saw something. Strength. Courage. The same strength she herself had when she was young and fighting to build a life. Can you still drive? Mrs. Beatrice asked. Yes, Ma. Then do your job. And just like that, Mrs. Beatrice walked back into the house. Ada almost collapsed with relief. When James came out, he saw Ada in her women's clothes.
Good morning, sir, she said.
He smiled. Good morning, Ada. It was the first time he said her real name. And it felt right. The first few weeks were hard. Other drivers in the neighborhood laughed at James. You hired a woman driver? What is wrong with you? Business partners made jokes. James, are you so poor now you cannot afford a male driver? Some of James's friends stopped talking to him. They said he was embarrassing himself. But James did not care. And Ada proved them all wrong. Every day, she drove perfectly. Every meeting she arrived on time. Every errand she completed without mistakes. More than that, she started showing other skills. One day, James was having trouble with his car. The engine was making a strange sound. The mechanic said it would cost 150,000 Nigerian nairas to fix. Sir, let me check it first, Ada said. She opened the hood. She worked for 30 minutes. She fixed it. The problem? A loose belt. Cost to fix, 0 Nigerian nairas. James was amazed. Another time, James had a meeting in Lekki. He was running late. Traffic was terrible. Sir, I know a shortcut, Ada said. She took a route James never knew existed. They arrived 15 minutes early. Another time, James left important documents at home. Ada noticed before they got to the office. She drove back, got them, brought them. James did not miss his meeting. Slowly, people started to notice. This woman driver was not just good. She was excellent. James's friends started asking, Where did you find her? Can you get me one too? His business partners stopped making jokes and started asking questions. Is it true she fixed her engine herself? Even Mrs. Beatrice started to soften. This Ada, she said to James one day, she is not just a driver. She is a professional. James smiled. I know, Mama. 6 months after Ada's secret was revealed, something changed. James started to notice things about Ada. The way she smiled when she saw a child playing. The way she hummed quietly when she thought no one was listening. The way she always asked the gateman and cleaner how they were doing. The way she saved her extra money to buy books for her sisters. The way she never complained, even when work was hard. The way her eyes lit up when she talked about her family. James found himself thinking about her. Not as a driver. Not as an employee. As a woman. And that scared him. Because Ada was his driver. She was younger than him. She came from poverty while he came from wealth. What would people say? But the more he tried not to think about her, the more he did. One day, James's friend Philip came to visit. James, I heard about your female driver. I came to see this wonder for myself. Ada drove them to lunch. When she was parking, Philip watched her carefully. After she left to wait by the car, Philip said, James, that woman is special. I know she is a good driver. I am not talking about driving. I am talking about her character. I watched her. The way she moves. The way she speaks. The way she carries herself. She has something rare.
What?
Dignity. Real dignity. Not the fake pride that rich people have. Real dignity. The kind that comes from suffering and surviving, and still choosing to be good. James knew Philip was right. Be careful, my friend, Philip said. A woman like that, she can make you forget everything else. James laughed uncomfortably. She is just my driver. Philip looked at him with a knowing smile. Keep telling yourself that. 3 months later, everything came to a head. Ada's mother got very sick. The diabetes was getting worse. She needed a special surgery. The cost, 800,000 Nigerian nairas. Ada did not tell James. She tried to handle it alone. She borrowed from friends. She borrowed from neighbors. She saved every kobo. But she could only raise 300,000 Nigerian nairas. One day, James noticed she was crying in the car. Ada, what is wrong? Nothing, sir. I am fine. You are crying. That is not fine. Tell me. Ada told him about her mother, about the surgery, about the money she did not have. James was quiet for a moment. Then he said, How much do you need? Sir, I am not asking you for money. I did not ask if you were asking. I asked how much you need. 500,000 Nigerian nairas more, sir. But I will find a way. Give me your account number. Sir. Ada, give me your account number.
Now.
She gave it to him. That afternoon, 800,000 Nigerian nairas appeared in her account. The full amount for the surgery. Ada called him, crying. Sir, this is too much. I cannot accept. It is not a gift, James said. It is a loan. You will pay me back slowly from your salary. 10,000 Nigerian nairas per month. No interest. Sir, at that rate, it will take me more than 6 years to pay back. Then you will work for me for 6 more years. I do not see a problem. Ada was crying so hard she could barely speak. Sir, why are you so kind to me? James was quiet for a long time. Then he said something that surprised even himself. Because you matter to me. Sir, you matter to me, Ada. More than you know. He hung up before he said something more. Ada's mother had the surgery. It was successful. She was recovering well. 3 months later, Ada came to work one morning with something on her mind. Sir, she said, I need to tell you something. What is it? I need to leave this job. James felt like someone punched him in the stomach. What? Why? Sir, I have been thinking. I have saved some money now. My mother is better. My sisters are doing well. I think it is time for me to start my own business. Maybe a small car repair shop. Something I can grow. James should have been happy for her. This was good news. She was moving forward with her life. But all he felt was panic. When he managed to say, In 2 months, sir, I will find a replacement for you. I will train him well.
No.
Sir? I said no. You cannot leave. Ada looked confused. Sir, I do not understand. I thought you would be happy. How can I be happy when the woman I love is leaving? The words came out before James could stop them. Ada froze. Sir, what did you say? James closed his eyes. There was no going back now. I said I love you, Ada. I have loved you for months now. And I did not know how to tell you. But now you are leaving and I cannot let you go without telling you the truth. Ada could not speak, could not move, could not breathe. James continued, his voice shaking. I know this is crazy. I know I am your boss. I know I am older than you. I know I am rich and you come from different circumstances. I know people will talk. I know my family will say I am making a mistake. But I do not care. I have watched you for more than a year now. I have seen your strength, your courage, your kindness, your intelligence. I have seen how you love your family, how you work hard, how you never give up. You are the most real person I have ever met, and I love you. I love everything about you. He looked at her, his eyes begging. So please, do not leave. Or, if you must leave, leave as my wife. Ada's tears started falling. Sir, I do not know what to say. Say yes. Sir, this is not possible. Your family. I do not care about my family. Your friends. I do not care about my friends. People will say you married me because you pity me. I do not pity you, Ada. I admire you. I respect you. I love you. He took her hand. You came into my life pretending to be someone else. But in the process, you showed me who you really are. And who you really are is the woman I want to spend my life with. Ada was crying so hard she could barely see. But sir, I am just a driver. I have nothing. No education. No money. Nothing to bring to you. You have everything I need. You have yourself. James. It was the first time she ever called him by his name. Say yes, Ada.
Please.
Say yes. She looked at this man. This rich, powerful, kind man who was on his knees begging her to marry him. A year ago, she was sleeping in a gatehouse, pretending to be a man, afraid of being discovered. Now, she was standing here as herself. Fully herself. And being loved for exactly who she was. Yes, she whispered. What? Yes, she said louder, laughing and crying at the same time. Yes, I will marry you. James stood up, pulled her into his arms, and held her like he would never let go. 3 years after that conversation, Ada and James were married. The wedding was big. Mrs. Beatrice, who had completely changed her mind about Ada, cried the whole time. Ola, James's sister, was the maid of honor. She and Ada had become best friends. Ada's mother and 2 sisters sat in the front row, crying with joy. But the most special moment was when Ada and James arrived at the reception. Ada was wearing a beautiful white wedding dress. But before she sat down, she did something that made everyone gasp. She changed into a driver's uniform, the same type of uniform Michael used to wear. And she said to the crowd, "Many of you know my story. How I pretended to be a man to get work. How I hid who I was just to survive. Some of you judged me. Some of you said I was wrong. Some of you said I was a liar.
But I want to tell you something.
I am not ashamed of what I did. Not anymore. I did what I had to do to save my family. I was not stealing.
I was not begging.
I was working. Honestly working. This uniform represents the hardest thing I ever did. And also my greatest achievement. Because wearing this uniform, living as Michael, taught me something. It taught me that I am strong. Stronger than I ever knew. It taught me that I can survive anything. And it taught me that the right person will love you not despite your struggles, but because of how you handled them. She looked at James, tears in her eyes. My husband did not fall in love with Ada the woman. He fell in love with Michael the driver. Because Michael was me. My courage. My strength. My heart. And when he discovered the truth, he did not reject me.
He accepted me.
All of me. She turned back to the crowd. So to every woman here who has ever hidden who you are just to survive, I see you. To every woman who has ever pretended to be something else just to get a chance, I see you. To every woman who has ever been rejected just because of your gender, I see you. Do not be ashamed. Do what you must do. Survive.
Fight. Win.
And one day, someone will see you. Really see you. And they will love you not despite your struggles, but because of them. The crowd stood up and cheered. Ada removed the uniform, returned to her white dress, and sat next to her husband. That was beautiful, James whispered. It was the truth, Ada said. 5 years later, Ada opened the first driving school in Lagos specifically for training women drivers. She trained over 200 women. She helped them get jobs. She helped them start their own businesses. James supported her fully. He gave her the money to start. He gave her the building. he gave her everything she needed. But more than money, he gave her something else. He gave her the freedom to be herself. And that, Ada knew, was the greatest gift of all. Sometimes you have to hide who you are to survive. But the right person will love you not despite your disguise, but because of the courage it took to wear it. Never be ashamed of what you did to survive. Be proud of the strength it took to keep going. Be honest. If you discovered your male driver was actually a woman who had been hiding her identity for 6 months, would you? A. Fire her immediately, she lied. B. Be angry but keep her, she did good work. C. Respect her courage and promote her. D. Call the police, fraud. Comment A, B, C, or D and explain. Fire backhand index pointing down. Please like and subscribe to my channel for more amazing video. Thanks for watching.